All right, good afternoon. Welcome back here to Trader Minute. Great to have you aboard. I'm going to pause here for just a moment, make sure that I get the thumbs up that we're running live here. My apologies. All right. Thumbs up is had. All right, so let's go just take a look at the challenge trades. We'll take a look at the two stocks that are triggering. Talk about why I'm not going to trade either of them right here. And then tomorrow I'm going to go out and take a look at some holiday stocks here with you. One thing I tend to get requested around this time of year is, hey, into year end, what type of stocks look the best. We've talked a little bit about the Santa Claus rally and, the Grinch in December and that type of element. But so far, no sign of the Grinch, right? No sign of the Grinch there. Though I do think he'll make his appearance. Again, that'll be something that we need to see evidence of first before trying to predict there. But we'll talk about some different stocks and different ways to play it. But let's go take a look at the challenge here. We have two positions on the board. We have Halliburton. The option here is 104, and Netflix is 1420. So 1420 and 104. It's a challenge around 3,700 here. Neither Netflix or Halliburton are going anywhere option wise. The Netflix stock is higher than what it was when we entered. Our entry price was 311.71, and right now it's 314.09. So, we're looking at about a $2.30 move, but the option hasn't moved. And when it takes 2 days, we see the implied volatility tick down a point. We're basically seeing the trade theta, eat into a dollar, and the Vega eat into a dollar worth of delta there with it. And so, we need we need more of a move to, really see the option move here, and we're expecting it. And I suspect that'll come in here. It's nice to see Netflix, with a gain here today, at least on the stock itself after this morning, where it gaps on a downgrade. We've seen the stock reverse almost $10 off of that low. So nice to see there. And then Halliburton, and this is one where, again, I didn't put the full position on. It's just one because of, hey, flat isn't going to pay. I love when people talk about options. They talk about making money on the way up, making money on the way down. They never want to talk about flat, but flat is a serious risk in the market and a serious risk for option traders. And it was something I did not want to have too much risk there too. We see it here, with how, everything's still in play. Everything's still looking good. Would be nice to see it, gap up and go here tomorrow. And I think there's a shot that, we will see that. But again, nothing really in it today, to adjust to or to, react to there. So, we continue grinding, and we're used to that by now. But we're almost at the halfway point of the challenge. We'll hit that here this week. We'll talk about that, a little bit more as the week progresses here. Now, there are two new triggers on the board here this afternoon. IBM and SBUX are both triggering bullish here today, and both are really good looking charts. If we come into IBM, and this is a stock I'm very bullish on. Nice move above the 3 and the 7 and the 20-day moving average. We have, the crossovers in the right spot. We have a higher low here with it. So it is in a nice spot from an entry standpoint, and same with SBUX. In a nice spot from an entry standpoint. Both of them look very similar, in terms of their reads and everything else. Now, I'm not getting into either, and one of the reasons is I don't have the cash for a full position, right? The challenge has 1,000 in cash here, 2,700 in. Had I done a full Halliburton position, we would not have the cash for a second trade here or a third trade. But, I said I'm only going to, put that money into play if it's a perfect scenario. And by perfect scenario, I need a really good option value to go with it. And both options are okay. but the time risk and flat risk on them, with what this week is relatively high. So, if we see both of them trade a little bit lower or one or the other trade a little bit lower, I still have 24 hours to get in. I may jump into one of them here tomorrow. For instance, if IBM trades down just a little bit, and let's just say Halliburton, for some reason, we have to get out because of our time stop tomorrow, and we have the cash for a full position, I'll look to go in to get into a full position there. But I am taking the more conservative approach, which is the way I've kind of run this challenge since day one here. And there's enough risk already on the board, but I'll hold off here until tomorrow. Now, as far as market metrics, we're not seeing anything really significant happening today. Things like bullish percent index, no real move higher, no real move lower. And this whole idea of things are the way they've been and signs are pointing to things continuing the way they are. And that is exactly what we're seeing. Whether we're looking at, whatever metric we're looking at, that's what we're seeing. Yes, occasionally we have a few warning signs lobbed our way in the market, but that's all they've been, are warning signs. And, I've used that analogy of, just simply driving down the country highway, 65 miles an hour, and you see a deer crossing sign, right? You're not going to slam on the brakes. You're not going to, go to 5 miles an hour because you see a deer crossing sign. But you're going to be a little more attentive. You're going to be a little more aware of, that potential out there, but you're still going to get to where you're going. And, you're not going to be slamming the brakes there, until or unless you see that deer. So, we still see the market in that position here. Overall, we do have a lot of upside crossovers out there in the market where 3-day moving averages are moving above a 7-day moving average. Some of these I like very much, but none of them or only 2 of them are creating triggers. IBM, as we mentioned before, in SBUX, Visa, Micron, even Triple M. And I thought Triple M would trigger, but it's not triggering here. FedEx has a beautiful move on it. This is one where it just has gone too far too fast to be in a trigger mode here. But we've talked about some of these, the Triple M's and the FedExes, some of these laggards on the year, and yes, they've had good reason to lag, and I would not be surprised to see them get bought up into the end of the year. And see some of the recent outperformers, get a little bit of haircut as we do see some tax selling, come into December. And I'll talk about that, more as the week progresses and, take a look at some of those individual names and, individual trades around those names here with you. Okay. But as far as challenge goes, this is where we're sitting. And I'm going to go into the close here with Netflix, with Halliburton on the board. And, it should be nice to see, the challenge, perk back up over 4,000 and, be off and going here as we get through the rest of the week. Again, thanks for hopping on. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.